It's purely a digital concentration camp. It's a slavery system.
When Catherine Austin Fitts talks, we should listen. She's a former high-level investment banker in New York and held senior office in the first Bush administration in Washington.
There may be 1,000 models of how it could work. But essentially, you will have, whether it's a banking account or a credit card, and it can be turned off and on. So my incentive system is not you go to work and work hard and you get money. My incentive system can be based on how you behaved in the last 5 minutes, on a 24/7 basis.
CBDCs, as the name suggests, would be issued by central banks like the Federal Reserve in America and the Bank of England, not by high street banks. They would signal the end of cash, and every transaction you make would be transparent and held on a permanent database. Crucially, under a net zero regime, your carbon footprint could be at the heart of the system.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
This can be the infrastructure for a carbon credit system. It's totalitarian control, and if people don't become aware of it now, it's going to be too late to backtrack from this. It's a ratchet system where it's very difficult, if not impossible, to backtrack.
This brand new rental community in Tempe has all the amenities: fitness center, dog park, outdoor kitchens, but something's missing. So there are no cars in this community at all.
Isn't it great?
Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed and built specifically for car-free living. Co-founder Ryan Johnson says the demand is strong.
Every generation, and including 92% of Gen Z, would like to pay more to live in a walkable neighborhood.
Retail, restaurants, and to start, nearly 200 apartments, all within steps of each other. No cars means no parking spaces, no garages.
Because we don't have residential parking, it opens us up to have 55% landscape space, and we get to add so much to the neighborhood.
Like social spaces around every corner. The complex is strategically located right next to the area's light rail system. All residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with Lyft gets them discount rides.
I've been fine just going via rail or just biking.
Juan Ramos, among the first 100 to move in here, grew up in Arizona, but left because he didn't like the car-dependent sprawl. At 27, he just came back and says living car-free has opened his eyes.
Frankly, for most of the apartments I've lived in for years, I've never even talked to my neighbors. I know people, like, that's Pete over there, that's Ben over there, and I'm like, that's the first time I've said that.
Residents often gather near the retail stores, which focus on small businesses. Jada Stratman is moving both her Home Sense business and herself in.
It's not as affordable out here as it was a few years ago, and having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
Walkable neighborhoods are all well and good when the weather's fine, but temperatures here in the summer can sit over 100 degrees for weeks at a time. And that'll be the real test to see if carless living can really go the distance.
You have the chance to look forward to a career of 50 years. And my own opinion, maybe more. You will get some injections and some and so on, and then don't forget your avatar will continue to live. So and your brain will be replicated through artificial intelligence and algorithm. So we don't know, but at least 50 years.
Nobody will be safe if not everybody is vaccinated.
It changes you if you take a genetic editing. It's you who are changed.
The integration of those spheres. Just think of sensors planted into our brains. The opportunities are immense.
The frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance
in comparison to
to a major cyber attack. CHIPS Act, because it's an important step to create the physical brain for digitalization. So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The cut which we have now is much too strong in order not to leave traces. Effect will be much similar to World War. We need our brains, but maybe a little bit in a different way. We must continue to fight. This global reset is necessary. We need a great reset. Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system and to shape our global destiny.
While many people rightly say that money is already digital, when world leaders say digital money today, it means cryptocurrency, which is now part of a worldwide scheme to monitor your actions and control your money. This new form of currency will require you to have a unique digital wallet, which is essentially a digital ID. Last spring, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde said that the ECB will be ready to launch the digital euro by this October. According to the Atlantic Council, 137 countries and currency unions are preparing for a crypto digital currency. 3 countries have already launched theirs: the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Nigeria. CBDCs in the advanced stages are the digital euro, China's digital yuan, India's e-rupee, the United Kingdom's digital pound, Brazil's digital real, and Russia's digital ruble. Hong Kong is preparing to launch a stablecoin. Japan's Financial Services Agency is preparing to launch a Japanese yen stablecoin this fall. And President Trump, who has been pushing stablecoin development, has repeatedly announced that the USA will lead the world in AI and crypto. His family is heavily invested and stand to make billions when the world goes crypto. The Trump family even have their own stablecoin, the USD1 stablecoin from World Liberty Financial. Trump's puppet masters likely have another stablecoin in mind to be the digital dollar, but a puppet can still dream. The only difference between a CBDC, central bank digital currency, and a stablecoin is name only. Both will be programmed according to the nation's financial policies. Both are capable of operating a carbon tax and a social credit score. The only difference is one will be managed by a central bank and the other by a private corporation. In the USA, something like BlackRock. CEO of BlackRock and longtime business associate of President Trump, Larry Fink, was recently appointed interim co-chair of the World Economic Forum. The Trump administration has been normalizing the deployment of the U.S. military as a police force in the streets of America. And according to Fox News, Pentagon officials are about to mobilize National Guard troops in 19 states to assist Homeland Security with President Trump's nationwide crackdown on illegal immigration and crime. This likely means ID checkpoints, because how else will a citizen prove their citizenship? But with a new digital ID, the military police state can simply scan you from a distance with Palantir technology. Doctors are discussing online how President Trump's swollen ankles and hand bruising are indications of congestive heart failure, the bruises on the hand being typical of IV diuretic treatments. The White House says it's from shaking hands. If Trump goes the unfortunate way of the clot shot, which he is still proud of, then J.D. Vance will be president. And he owes everything to Palantir's Peter Thiel, one of technocracy's biggest cheerleaders. The stage is now set for crypto and digital IDs. And if that happens, there will be pushback, especially in the 19 states being supplied with the National Guard. Greg Reese reporting. The Reese Report is now fully funded by my Substack subscribers. Subscribe today and support my work at gregreese.substack.com.
The infrastructure for the mark of the beast is without a doubt fully operational. What is left now is the right particular kind of crises that will usher in the mark of the beast. As for the infrastructure, as for the means and how the technological know-how to operate the mark of the beast, the groundwork has already been laid down. That's what we are seeing. That is why there is that notion for a great reset, because that great reset will now usher in the NWO, which is the mark of the beast whole agenda, right? So the NWO is there to facilitate the mark of the beast, the New World Order, because remember, it is a globalist thing. And if you are very conversant with the scriptures, with the Bible, if you're very aware of what is written in the scriptures, you will understand that the mark of the beast is very much a huge part of prophecy, and the NWO is there to make sure it goes down. The whole New World Order, right? So that New World Order, which is a globalist thing, and the Bible tells you that it's going to come a point in time where everybody in the world, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, you will be required to have this device that will be embedded in your head or in your hand, right? So the infrastructure for that to be done has been laid down. See? So I put together a couple of clips kind of like to prove that point to you. All we're looking for now is the right particular kind of crises that would just usher it in, right? Because remember, it is problem, reaction, solution. So they have to create a problem on a massive scale that will urge the people out there to scream out for a solution. So the people screaming out for a solution is them reacting to that problem that was created, right? And the solution to all the problem, that's why you have the Great Reset talk. That's why you have CBDCs. That's why you have IOBs, Universal Basic Income. That's why you have Internet of Bodies, Internet of all things, IoTs, right? So you have Palantir. All these technocrats that are now in the forefront of the government. Because your government and the agenda goes right hand in hand with the technocrats, whether it be the ones in Silicon Valley or whatever it is they are, in China, in Russia, no matter where they are, they're all echoing the same agenda. They're all echoing the same sentiment, which is to push the world to this whole digital way of living, which will require you to have a digital ID, which will require you to live within 15-minute cities, to be totally monitored, which will require the 5G, 6G internet fast speed connection. It will need a very high speed connection to be able to link all these things in. You see? So when you put it all together like that, it makes sense why the world is moving the way it is. Why it looks like technology is now in the forefront of everything. That's why they tell you that. They keep hammering it in your head to trust the science. Right? They keep hammering in your head to trust the science, because you trusting the science will lead you to the altar of the mark of the beast. Just like you trusting the science led you to the altar of the jabby jabs. You see? So there's a method to their madness. So once you decipher what the method to their madness is, they don't seem so crazy. And I mean, they are batshit crazy, but it's not like it is without a cause, right? There's a cause for this madness that they are pushing out there. You see? So why it's very highly important for you to stay focused right now and watch this individual talk. Listen to them. They're saying something. What it is they're saying, sift through the bones and try to understand what is the deeper meaning for all this stuff they're doing with the climate change, net zero, all this crap. Where is it all going to end? Where is it leading to? What is leading to a total control of everything. And for them to have total control of everything, they have to give you that mark of the beast. There's no second guessing it. There's no circumventing it. There's no way around it. It leads to that mark of the beast. It all leads there. That's where it is all headed. And you have to understand this fact. You really do. Which brings us here real quick. In the book of Revelations, the 14th chapter and the 9th verse, the subheading says, "Doom for worshippers of the beast." And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachaha Kodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom. To all you brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, beginning with 144,000 down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, who are all of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty, to you all I say shalom, right? And this is where we are right now. This is where we are. That is why you see these technocrats in the forefront of all the so-called decision making that surrounds your government, that surrounds the future of all things. You have Elon Musk, you have Thiel, the Palantir guy. You have a whole slew of them, right? That are now, when the future is concerned, the opinions of these guys matters. Why? Well, it brings back to the scriptures. It goes back to the Bible, what the end times speaks about, which is the mark of the beast. You have to understand this. This is not a game. This is not a joke. It is highly serious. Even if you don't take it serious, well, these guys that are pushing this agenda, they take it dead serious, man. Like their life depend on it. There's a clip about I put it together with Klaus Schwab talking about how they have to preserve their brains through AI and things like that. What do you think that is talking about, man? They take all this stuff seriously, and when they're talking to this audience, the audience always find themselves laughing at whatever it is. I don't know what is the joke. I always like, did I miss something? Because there's no joke there, right? They're very serious to what they're saying, but that is the defense mechanism of people. That is how they kind of like try to brush things off. When you laugh at it, you chuckle. They're being dead serious, man. With the 15-minute cities, with the digital identity, now you see it playing out in the forefront, right in your face. Put another clip up together where, They're building these homes that have no garages. They have people squeezed in together like that. What do you think that is? That is the way, the new system, the new way of living, where you will be quarantined off in these sections. Think of the movie Hunger Games, right? The old saying, art imitates life, right? The Hunger Games series, they have people living in districts. You see? Meanwhile, the upper echelon, they're living it up. Eating the best food. You are out there killing each other for scraps. They're eating the best food, living it up. Still being weirdos. See their dresses. Now if you look at the Grammy Awards and the Oscar Awards, they all look like the weirdos from Hunger Games. Why? Because that's the future they are pushing for you to align yourself with. See? So going back to the scriptures in the book of Revelations, this 14th chapter, let's start at the 6th verse. It says, vision of the angel with the gospel. It says, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, just like we are doing right now. The words of the mouth of the Most High is through his prophets. Let you know what is happening in this latter day, so you can properly prepare yourself, spiritually that is. Embrace for impact. Dwell on the earth to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and sea and the fountains of water. It says, and there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, which because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. What is Babylon? Babylon is America. That's what it is, because through America, all these policies, all these agendas go forth. See, that is how the nations drank of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, because every nation now are on board with the digital money, the digital system, right? Why? Because America is that great city. It has made the other nations to drink of that wine of the wrath of her fornication. So now they're in bed with America through America's agenda that he pushes with his might, with his power, right? You get along or you lay down. So that's how Babylon eventually will fall. So America you see today is at its wit's end. America is fastly approaching its end. Just like every other so-called rulership or civilization prior to America, they peaked and they fell. America has peaked and you're watching America's fall. So don't let anybody deceive you by telling you, oh, they're looking to save America. Well, according to the Bible, if you believe in it, there is no saving America. Because they're saying here, Babylon is fallen. In other words, in the future, as this vision is, like it says here, the vision, America has already fallen. Or we are moving towards that. Right? It says, the subheading for this, it says, doom for worshippers of the beast. And how do you worship the beast? Well, the scriptures tell you that. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So this is how you worship the beast. Once you receive that mark and you start assimilating yourself with the new agendas, the new age agendas of the beast system, right? That is how you worship the beast. Every agenda that they're pushing, you're down with it. See? And then you receive his mark. That is the mark of the beast, which will require you to get an implant in your head or in your hand. Everybody will require to do that. Now you understand why the term NWO. It is going to be a worldwide thing, a globalist thing, not just sectioned off in one area an isolated case in one country. Now it's a worldwide thing. And I put together, the clip. You'll see how every nation on the planet are moving towards that digital money. What do you think that digital money is going to lead to? Well, it will lead to you receiving that MARK, the mark of the beast, in your head or your hand. So the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which he poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So once you take this mark and you worship the image of the beast, his policies, his ways, right? The new way of doing things, which will require you to totally trust in science and trust in technocrats and no longer trust in the true living God. That's why prior to that, it's telling you to fear God and worship him. He alone is supposed to fear and worship. Because why? Like it says here, he made the heavens and the earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. Nobody else made this. Only him did. So by you taking the mark of the beast, you disregard the God of the Bible. You disregard the creator of the universe. And then you make these technocrats, this beast system, your new God. So what do you think? The Most High himself is going to take offense. Right? That's what the scripture says, letting you know. The Most High will take offense and he will judge you for doing that, for being in bed with the beast and worshiping the beast. You see? It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. What will that happen? Well, when America is totally destroyed by nuclear weapons. You have a lot of people having visions about that, dreams about that. Just go on YouTube or whatever social media and type in dreams about America being destroyed by missiles and bombs. There's numerous about that, which the scriptures tells you that in the latter days that the Most High will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. And your daughters and your handmaids, they shall all dream dreams. Why? Because they're seeing the vision of the future is being shown to them, what is about to happen. So this is how those that took the image of the beast will be tormented, especially if you're in America. Because America, the whole 5,000 square miles will be on fire. That's where you get your lake of fire from. They've made so many movies about that. Even the new movie that came out with the Mission Impossible and the AI technology and all of that, right? That's what it's always been about. See, America is going to go out by fire. Remember, America is the whore. In the Bible, what do you do to a whore? You burn her with fire. Right? So America will be burned with fire by his own allies. The NATO and the EU is going to come after America, come against America, and pelt America with ICBM, super hypersonic missiles, Satan 1, Satan 2, and Russia will be a huge component in that, which is all part of biblical prophecy, Gog and Magog, Gog from the land of Gog, right? So that's where we are. So once you take the mark of the beast, you seal your deal. You seal your deal. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, meaning for a very long time, because you will be tormented in that fire, man. You will be tormented in that fire that will, destroying wind that will come through America and destroy everything in its path. Everything in America will be destroyed. Disney World, Hollywood, California, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, everywhere, all the 50 states of America will be nuked. And everything in it will burn to a crisp, to the point where only dust and ashes will remain. America will be a desert. You see the movie Planet of the Apes, when he came back, he saw a vast desert, He was wondering, they thought they were somewhere else, but they were in America, because America has already been destroyed and it became a desert. So the directors of all these movies, they're very aware of prophecy, just like in Judgment Day. Of all names they would name the Terminator to, they named it Judgment Day. And what brought about the judgment? Well, the missiles. The nuclear missiles that pelted the whole place, which Sarah Connor, she saw, and it was driving her crazy. You see? So that's how you'll be tormented in that fire. It says, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High, and the faith of Yahushua. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So those that lose their life while in the truth, doing the works of the Lord, preaching the gospel, helping spread the gospel, guess what? Their works will follow them even if they die. Because Apostle Paul told you that they will come back with our Lord on the ship, on the spaceship, what you would call a UFO. See? So that's it on there. Let's hit Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and the 1st verse. It says, I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There I will wait to see what the Lord says and how he will answer my complaint. Just like we are complaining right now. We see the state of the earth. You can't enjoy nothing. You can't even enjoy the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your labor. You're being worked to that and nothing to show for it, right? People are complaining. The prophets are complaining because the wicked are in rulership, and they've done a terrible job on the planet. You see? It says the Lord's second reply. It says, when the Lord said to me, write and answer plainly on tablets, so that the runner can carry the correct message to others. Right? So that's what it's all about. So when, just like the vision we read about in the 14th Revelation, the 14th chapter, the Apostle John, down in the island of Patmos, where there's a salt mine, he got the vision and he wrote it down the way he got it. He didn't try to sugarcoat it. He didn't try to mince his words and try to come up with different way to write the analogy and things like that. He wrote exactly that was a correct message. So in this time, we are also supposed to do the same thing. That's why the scripture tells you that rightly dividing the word of truth. So by doing so, you're giving the correct message. It says this vision is yet for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. So this is where we are right now. This future time that was told to Habakkuk thousands of years ago is now playing out right in front of our face. It says it describes the end, and we are at the end time. That's exactly what we are. You can choose to dismiss it. You can choose to, make excuses or whatever it is you're trying to do, deny it or whatever. But that doesn't stop the fact that we are in the latter days. And we're all about to be put to the test. Just like we were put to the test during the jabby jabs, a lot of people failed that test. That was just a trial run. So the main test is coming, which is the mark of the beast, the MOTB. It says, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently. You see, because it's been slow in coming. Remember, one day to the Lord is 1,000 years to us. You understand? So just one day has passed for the Lord in his dimension. Us here is already 1,000 years, but to him it's just one day. So understand that. So now, a couple of days later, this is about to fulfill. By a couple of days later, I mean to the Lord, for us, it's been a couple of thousand years later. And here we are. It's being fulfilled in front of our eyes. It says, if it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. That's why they have the Operation Warp Speed. They can't wait to get this thing up and running. They can't wait to get it up and running, man. They're far behind. So expect a lot of chaos. Expect a lot of false flag events. And by false flag doesn't mean that lives are not lost. It just means that it wasn't a natural occurrence, so to speak. It was an orchestrated occurrence to bring in some agenda. See? So it will not be delayed anymore. And that's where we are right now. Time of it being delayed is gone. This is 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter and the 8th verse. Let's start at the 8th verse. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. The wicked is being revealed right now, which the wicked elites, this is exactly what they are, because all this agenda stems from the wicked elites. It doesn't matter what agenda it is, it all goes back to them. So now they're being revealed, all the agendas is being revealed, especially the mark of the beast and what that entails and what they're trying to achieve with that. To put the whole world in these digital concentration camps, total control on everything, right? You can't move or do anything without their say-so. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. What is that? That is the prophets that are telling you what the will of the Lord is before it comes forth. So the Most High is using the mouth of the prophet to reveal the wicked and to show the world who the wicked is. And they are biblically known as Edomites. It says, and shall destroy the brightness of it, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. What is that? Well, that's when the UFOs, you will call it, which the scriptures is known as the chariot of Israel. Spaceship, so you can understand. When they will come, they will be so bright and menacing looking. They will totally consume the NWO. They will totally annihilate the wicked elites, rulership, the military might, the economics, whatever it is that they've set up will be totally destroyed by the brightness of the coming of our Lord, Yahushua. Says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And that's exactly what this technology that they're pushing out there is looking to do, to deceive you with powers and signs and lying wonders. Because they will sell it to you like it's the best thing since everything, the best thing since mankind walked on the moon, best thing since cooked food. However it is, they'll sell it to you, right? Just like they did with the jabby jabs. But remember, it's just lying wonders to get you to sin against God, to get you to sin against Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Because once you take that thing, you're done. That's the ultimate sin right there. You are done. And the only way for you to be redeemed if you're an Israelite is to be purged through fire. See? It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So here it is. You are being told that the wicked elites are coming with a mark of the beast to try to put it inside of you. You shouldn't take it. But what happened? You didn't receive the love of the truth. Because you called them crazy. You called them conspiracy theorists. You called them all kinds of names. You dismissed them. You took it for a joke. And then eventually it happened, and then you perished from it. Just like I gotta keep bringing it up to jabby jabs. A lot of people are paying the price right now because of it. You're perishing because of it, because you didn't listen. The same will apply to the mark of the beast. It says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So the Most High will convince you in your mind that taking the mark of the beast is actually a good thing. Because in your mind, you believe it. You believe the technocrats. You believe these the wicked elites. You believe your government. You believe whoever it is that's pushing it to you, the celebrities they will use, the sports guys they will use, whatever medium they will use to push it to you. The Most High will convince you in your mind that it's actually okay. And you will take it and be destroyed. Why? Because you're not part of the elect. It goes on to say that they all might be damned. You see that? So the Most High has condemned you. So damned is to be condemned. Who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. That's why it's going to happen to you the way it's going to happen. He didn't want no parts of the truth. He called his men that he's sent out there to tell you about the truth. He called them crazy. He called them all kinds of names. He called them bums. Go get a job. Get off the streets. Right? You did all you got to do. Give them thumbs down. You know, all kinds of stuff you did. But you had no clue. You were sealing your own fate. You're sealing your own fate right there. You see? Have pleasure in unrighteousness. I mean, it's just a little something. You know, hopefully you've been edified by that. I will end it there and say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.